I feel like a radio DJ every time I do that. Hello and welcome to WKXPPN 5700.
BS E13.
Oh, it is episode 13.
It's episode 13.
If we've dropped them in order.
I think we're on track to do so.
Yeah, 6 for 6.
Yeah. But you do sound like a radio DJ announcer when you do that, but I thought that was the joke, you know?
It was, and then I forgot that was a joke because I kept doing it, and then today I'm like, oh, wow, I do sound like that. And then a part of me is like, should I just do the whole episode like that? Like,
Yeah.
Hey, Jono, so what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we're going to pick a prompt from the bowl, and we're going to write a short film based on that prompt. And that prompt... I was trying to think of like a Howard Stern like Beetlejuice impression, but I think that would just be not nice.
Stern is Baba Booey, right? Baba Booey.
Yeah, I think so.
Baba Booey. So we're gonna pick a prompt and we're gonna write a short film script. Before we get into that, I don't know if you like it when I do this, but I do want to ask what you watched recently.
Yeah, well, how about I ask you? Because you asked me last week.
But you just watched something pretty fucking good, though.
Oh, like last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did watch Across the Spider-Verse last night.
And even though we're like releasing this late, just know even in today's time present,
I still missed
very
it.
late.
I missed it in the theater. I wasn't my intent to do so.
Man,
we really wanted to go see it in the theater. But life is busy. So I couldn't do it. But we watched it last night and god damn it, it's beautiful. Like it's so well done.
And it's chaotic.
And chaotic.
So chaotic.
And just like we were talking about the sort of directorial decisions in the like, okay, so it's just going to cut to this angle and it's going to be watercolors. And then we're going to cut back to this angle and it's going to be this different thing. And just the way that they use paint.
Yeah.
And like those sort of motifs to capture emotion. And like when Gwen was like seething and like the background's like being painted
so
blue
good,
and then she embraces her dad and then it becomes really warm. It's like, like, God, the thought of every single frame, and every single frame could go on your wall. Like it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those films where like literally you pause the movie and you're like, that's a fucking poster.
Yeah. I just didn't. Neither of us knew that we were in for an Empire Strikes Back type situation where it was like the middle or Fellowship of the Ring or whatever. We didn't know that, and like when they were all gearing up to like do their big thing at the end, Katie as a joke was just like, to be continued. And then we look up and it's like, to be continued. We're like, come on. But I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun. I watched it in theaters and same thing. Like, it's weird. I remember them saying this is part 2 and there's going to be a part 3, but I just didn't put it together. And watching it, near the end, I'm like, there's like a few minutes left. I don't know how they're going to do this like ending, but I was also like, it's such a chaotic film. It's probably a jam-packed 5-minute action scene and it's going to tie everything up because they can do this because I have so much faith in them now at this point, 3 hours into the film or however long it is. But the to be continued happened and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, excuse me? Yeah, I was pretty blindsided by that. But
it felt like because everyone likes the first one a lot and I do like the first one a lot.
Yeah.
First one's great. And everyone was like I thought I'm like, you can't top that. You're not gonna. The first one felt very revolutionary.
It was
just like this one. Yes, very surprising too because you didn't expect it to be that good. But it's like the first one, they kind of figured it out, and then the second one they put all of the ideas in there. Like the first one, they're like, oh, we can go this far into a chaotic world. And I thought when I watched the first one, it was like so much happening. And then I rewatched it recently because I liked the second one so much. The second one is like a whole nother, like the first one seems like a timid movie compared to the second one.
Right. Yeah. They were able to, they knew how the car drove so they could really put it through the ringer.
Yeah. Really good though.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do want to know soon. Hopefully someone emails us or tells us if we should stop doing that segment because I do like to start every episode, recently with what have you seen lately? But maybe they don't like that and they're like, hey guys, shut the fuck up and go write a script.
That's 2 minutes I could have spent listening to you guys meander around an idea and then completely change the idea 2 minutes later.
Yeah, basically. All right, so I mean, before we go to the next section, any thoughts, any comments, or should we just go to the next section?
I have some thoughts about last week, but maybe we shouldn't talk about them yet.
Wait,
I'll leave it in.
What is it?
The plot hole.
John was worried we have a plot hole in episode 12 script.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Email us if you can find it.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. That's like the Easter egg. Let's discuss.
Again, plot hole. First drafts are made for plot holes.
Yeah, but I thought it would be worth bringing up so we could underscore that.
Yeah, but that's a good. No, that's good. I'm gonna right now address it, and we're gonna say it one more time. First drafts are
First
made
drafts
for
are made
plot
for plot holes.
Good. That was good. You caught
Yeah,
it.
we said it at the exact same time.
Exact same time. It's like we knew what we were gonna say.
Whoa.
But for real though. So again, like we want to write the best first draft that we can come up with in the episode, but there might be some plot holes because you know what the second draft's for? Is to fill up those plot holes.
Yeah, and we're not here to write polished shit. It just my brain goes in that direction all the time, and I wanna
Jono like
address it, but I also want to stay true to the podcast and not make ourselves work too hard.
Working on the radio drama, Jono was like, "Hey man, I think we gotta do something about this." Like you were so stressed. I can feel the stress. I'm like it doesn't matter. Yeah. But who knows? Maybe we get emails being like, "Yeah, I think Jono's right," and you guys need to fucking polish it up.
Go back to the drawing board on that. It's page 1, guys.
You know what it'll become the podcast, and it'll be like each script is like 4 episodes long.
Yeah.
We would literally
we would just be let's make a sci-fi.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But we would do 4 episodes on a script, and by the 4th episode, the goal is have a polished script.
Yeah.
But that's not yet.
Not yet. Maybe when we get bored of this format.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Let's
so
go to the
we got the Forsaken Bowl. Okay.
The prompt.
Sweet. Okay.
Right.
We have some prompts left over from last week.
Yeah, we wanted to maybe like, because we write it every week, like 5 prompts each into a bowl. But this time we're like, you know what? Instead of tossing it out and doing 5 new prompts each, we had some good ideas last week. So, and I don't remember what I wrote. I don't think you remember what you wrote either.
I remember a couple. I think there's like a gag one in there, and there's one that like covers you in ink when you touch it.
Oh, fuck, I got it.
Yeah.
All right, so I pulled up a prompt. I'm going to open it.
Okay.
It's a small piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, I don't know if I wrote this or you. That's how long it's been. It's only been a week. Mockumentary.
Okay, I think I wrote that one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay.
I think we could do that.
Mockumentary. So, again, I think, I don't know about you, but I think the universal thing is as soon as you say mockumentary, you go to the TV show The Office. A lot of people do, at least.
I go to Best in Show. I go to like the Christopher Guest.
I've seen
Spinal Tap,
or like I don't remember it well, but I've seen it. But Best in Show, what is that?
It's Spinal Tap, but it skinned differently. It's like sort of the same. Well, like Eugene Levy and like Catherine O'Hara are in it, but it's a dog show. Like
oh, that sounds hilarious already.
So like just the most amazing kind of
mockumentary based on like obsessive dog owners.
Yeah, who are going to a professional dog show.
I love that.
Yeah, it is unbelievably funny. So hammy but so deadpan at the same time. Like just Absolutely hilarious. In The Office, of course, and then you get into Parks and Rec. Once the British Office kind of exploded, and then the American Office exploded, like that format became so prevalent.
There's a new one I haven't seen yet called Abbott Elementary.
Abbott Elementary is awesome.
Man,
yeah, it's really good.
Everyone goes through this. I'm sure you have this feeling too sometimes, and I'm not sulking, but I thought of that idea. I was going to call it Teacher's Lounge, and I had a whole like first draft of a script about like a high school that's a mockumentary. Because in my head, I was very much like, someone's going to make this.
Yeah.
There's no way that someone's not going to make, after like The Office blew up, Parks and Rec blew up, I was like, high school or teachers are fucking next. I know it. It took a while because I was expecting it sooner even to come out. So I started writing, and I never really pursued it because at the end of the day, if like what you're chasing is like, I want to, what's the word? I want to catch the zeitgeist almost, or I want to kind of be part of like that. If that's what you're chasing, then the passion isn't really there. Like I wasn't so passionate about the idea. I was more like, well, if I do this, it's gonna become a TV show.
I'll get it made.
Yeah. But that wasn't like that. If that's your engine, then that's not gonna go that far.
Yeah.
So I kind of gave up on that idea after like the first draft.
Dude, I felt the same way when Ninja Turtles came out when I was a kid. I had this like really fleshed out idea where these 4 turtles.
So specific. Yeah.
These turtles.
And they were named after artists.
They were named after artists.
But you picked different artists.
It was like Andy Warhol and Picasso. Yeah.
Well, name the other 2.
Keith Haring.
Yeah.
And,
Van Gogh you wanted really badly.
Banksy. I somehow knew about Banksy when I was a kid.
When you're a kid, and you're like, the one's going to be just fucking aloof.
Yeah. He's just never in the show. Yeah. He's just like the foot soldiers show up and then they fall down and you're like, who
That's
did
a running
that?
gag.
Who did that? Yeah.
It's like, where's Banksy? He's always late to the meetings.
Same thing happened with Star Wars, man. I had that whole universe fleshed out. But it was like Luke Groundwalker.
I thought of... fuck, I'm too slow right now. I think about a biopic because that's even funnier. Like, I thought of the biopic. Because I thought of Social Network.
Yeah.
Like, I thought of this guy who makes this a social media. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Why didn't I just make the social media app if I thought of that?
And I was so pissed when Einstein and Oppenheimer made the atom bomb. Like, I was going to split an atom like weeks later, and they fucking beat me to it.
Sons of bitches.
Shall we go to
the one that really bummed me out was People versus OJ, because
damn.
Okay.
So we kind of got to some references through that bit. I mean, I guess Ninja Turtles. We could do a Ninja Turtles mockumentary.
That's pretty fucking funny. Or like, well, I just want to really quickly do what we do sometimes, where it's like just the definition of it. A mockumentary is a work of fiction that's presented in the style of a documentary. Its linguistic root lies in the conjunction of the word mock and documentary. So you're mocking, it can also be called a fake documentary. Yeah, you take the mock, you take the documentary.
Yeah, add them together.
I always thought it was such a Jono joke. I always thought it was taking mockingbirds and and sedimentary and putting them together to mockumentary. Boy, was I wrong. I thought it was about birds and rocks.
Damn. I'm insulted that you said that was a joke, but I would do because it fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So yeah, the whole point is to make a fake documentary.
Yeah. Very sincere.
Very sincere.
Tongue in the cheek is just barely visible.
You know what's, and I want to watch more of it. I feel like I've been watching enough of it. Documentary Now.
Oh yeah.
There's Bill Hader, Fred Armisen, and Seth Meyers, like they created it. And man, what I love about their show, their episodes, like when it's anthology, so it's not like one continuous story. It's like one episode's about this band and they make up a fucking completely fake band. One episode's about bowling championship and they make up these fake bowlers and stuff. But they're so like real and sincere on how they do the documentary, which makes it funnier. It's so well done, man.
What's the one? There was like a document. It was like Pretty Flowers or something. I'm looking up the name, but they like basically remade a documentary about these two eccentric women. I can't find it.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Send me an email. Yell at me.
And also,
like unbelievable. But it seems to me like those are the kind of actors, like that whole Christopher Guest canon. Like that's the older generation of people.
And then Andy Samberg's big on it now.
Samberg and Hader. Oh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
But he did.
It has that mockumentary shooting style, but not. There's no.
Andy Samberg did a couple. He's another one coming out about like bike racing and drugs and stuff. But he did one about baseball players. He did one about the tennis match with Kit Harington's in it.
But like it's that caliber of comedian who play things so real and like they're hammy and goofy, but like they anchor it so much in their character and their character's reality that it feels real. You can kind of blur that line.
I do want to mention one more thing, just because Glenna will be upset if I don't. A Modern Family.
Yes.
That's a great mockumentary. And it's like, again, that's one of those things where I'm sure when they came up with it, they're like, oh, this is a home run. A family mockumentary? Fuck yes. You know? So yeah, okay. Our goal today, being said, before we go in, unless you have any other notes, but
just a note about the air show. You guys might hear something else in the blue sky today. Warplanes. I hope you're not a refugee trying to escape a war zone. I hope you're not sensitive to loud noises.
Because PTSD is real.
Because it is real. Yeah. I'm not even. That's not even a bit. This fucking air show is fucked up.
I really want to. Yeah, I have so much more to say on that. But okay, yeah, okay. So before we go into blue sky, the three things to take are that we talked about. Sincere. I think that's really fun when it's sincerely, even though it's a funny topic. Actually, I have a question for you. Are there any serious mockumentaries?
I was going to ask you the same thing, and I feel like that came up in a conversation I had either around you or with someone that we're close to in the past week. Like, I don't know, because mock meat isn't funny meat. It's meat posing as meat. You know what I mean? Like mock meat is like a vegetarian.
Yeah.
character.
As soon as you make it fake, it's like it's not going to be serious or dramatic.
It could be like do a mock-up. It's not like here's a funny drawing of the building we're gonna do. Here's a mock-up of like this logo, but not funny.
There was a film you told me about. Isn't it about this mockumentary crew that follows a killer?
Oh, Man Bites Dog.
Yeah. So that's serious.
It's fucking funny though.
Oh. Like it's like horror but serious. There you go. That's your serious horror films, Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
It's a mockumentary, isn't it? Or is it lost footage? I guess lost footage is
I
different.
think that would be like found footage.
Found footage, sorry.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Cloverfield is found footage, not
Yeah,
mockumentary. Okay,
yeah.
never mind. You're right.
But it's tough. Like, I mean, you probably could, but like in the traditional sense, it is like funny, mocking, like haha, but mock doesn't mock up or you know, that doesn't necessarily mean funny.
No, for sure. I'm just thinking like,
so
we'll save this for the next part.
But
maybe we dabble in a serious mockumentary. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
All right, you wanna get to it?
Let's find out.
All right. This is the blue sky part.
Awesome.
Right.
Okay, so mockumentary. We're gonna do a lot of talking to the camera. What I love about that is like you can show scenes and then immediately like unseat what happened.
Exposition
or
is fucking
exposition
dumped.
is just
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. I do like that about mockumentaries where like you can do like 2 episodes worth of content, but because of exposition through the talking heads, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like you can pack that shit in.
It's so sick.
And then keep that in mind, it's a short film, so it's like say we aim for between the 5 to 8 pages, it's like is it man, there's like so much fodder here. There's so many things we can fuck around with.
What's like just trying to think of like where to start, because it you literally could do it about anything. So is there like something is there something funny? Like I feel like I pitched you a sketch premise once, or I have it in my fucking endless folder, or maybe I pitched it to Alex for Night Drives and we didn't land on it, but an improv class during a terrible event, like something like September 11th, and someone comes in and they're like, the fucking towers are on fire, and they're all like, oh yeah, well maybe the Pentagon's on fire too, and they're just yes-anding this thing, but it's
where's the
but then you would have to cut to like interviews, like being like, yeah, I was super.
Wait, your original idea though is mockumentary?
It wasn't a mockumentary, but like I was just thinking, I was like, what could a mockumentary take place around? It could be an improv class. There's a ton of fodder in there.
Yeah.
But and then like having something like some world event happen and these performers or a sketch show or something, like some performance happens and it ends up being insensitive in some way, and then they have to do a documentary.
I just feel like we don't take advantage of the mockumentary as much there. There's so much fun shit you could do.
Yeah.
Like one thing that comes to mind, one thing that I liked about Spinal Tap that a lot of mockumentaries don't do is involving the filmmaker in the mockumentary. Like remember Rob Reiner's character's kind of interviewed in it a bit. So I do enjoy that, where it's like the idea of like, and I feel like we go to this well a lot, but we always say it's because you write what you know. But it could be about a filmmaker making something, and it's like a mockumentary about the actors on the set, and really kind of meta it up. And it's have you ever seen, you don't watch all of Community, but you've seen most of Community?
I've seen a bunch of it. Yeah.
Have you seen the one where they make a commercial for Community?
No.
For the college. Sorry.
No.
It's mockumentary style, the whole episode.
Okay.
And it's like the dean. Remember the dean? He goes. He's a director of it. And
right.
He goes on a
he
he's
just turns
fucking
into an asshole.
Oh, and it's the mockumentary style. It's so fun. It's like him making Abed's making the mockumentary.
Right.
And he's like using what's the Apocalypse Now mockumentary? The Dark Side of the Moon.
Hearts of Darkness.
Hearts of Darkness. Yeah. And he's using that as an inspiration, and they kind of do make fun of that a bit. Like they compare the community college commercial to Apocalypse Now. It's really funny.
Yeah. I mean, there is so much fucking fodder in.
It's just finding
film
a thread
and TV and commercials. I just feel like we kind of hit it a couple times. No, we've done at least
we have.
one.
We've done the PA one. Is that it? I feel like we have done it a couple times though.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember right now either. We've done so many episodes.
Or like dating show style thing could be really funny.
What about going from the other angle? You know how like we said Modern Family, The Teacher's Lounge, or sorry, Abbott Elementary, The Office, Parks and Rec, like they're very like they picked a topic and then they just made a mockumentary on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Modern Family is like Brady's Bunch, but not a mockumentary. You know what I mean? Like The Office is like any Office show, but with mockumentary. What if we pick an occupation?
Yeah. What's kind of coming to my mind right now is a memory of my high school summer job. I worked at an amusement park.
Okay.
Have I ever told you this?
The lifeguard job?
Yeah. I can't swim very well. And it was the kind of place that let me be a lifeguard. I was watching the pool. I was monitoring children who were swimming and potentially drowning. And if I had to go rescue them without a pool skimmer, I would have been fucked. But like this place was nasty.
Can you tell us about I feel like you've done it on the podcast, maybe not, but can you tell about the story where you almost drowned?
Yeah.
I mean, plot twist.
I'm so sorry if I've done it already.
I feel like, yeah, but who cares? Just do it.
Okay, so I can't swim without plugging my nose and closing my eyes.
What was your job?
And my job was sitting at the bottom of the pool. I was a lifeguard. I would just sit there in the sombrero that I got.
Bottom of the pool? What do you mean? In the water?
At the bottom of the pool, like where the slide would exit. The slide would empty.
I'm like, for starters, you're in the pool. You're bottom of the fucking thing. You're already in
I'm already drowning.
Still starting of my job. Okay, sorry.
So yeah, like it was like one of those corkscrewy kind of water slides. It would eject into the pool, and there was a very strong current sucking up the water back to the top. So if a kid's like in a life jacket or whatever, like they just are kind of treading water and swimming toward me on the spot, and I would just extend a pool skimmer, take him back in. I was wearing a sombrero that I brought home from my youth exchange trip in Mexico, like a fucking idiot. Like just, one or two tattoos, like so cool, big aviators, just like not giving a shit about anything. And like I said, like the slide was a corkscrew, so like you don't really see what's happening in the slide as they're coming down until like the very last little bend that straightens out and then shoots into the pool. And this dad comes up to me. Sometimes, they'd be like, go, you got to catch my kid or whatever, and you just stand to the side. I could stand up in the bottom of the pool and just kind of like, just guide them into the water and put them up the side. Like it wasn't too tough. But this one time, this guy comes up to me and he crouches down and he's like, yeah, my kid, he's got these red trunks on, and then I look up at the slide and I see this kid with red trunks coming down the straightaway, and he's like, oh yeah, that's him. He can't swim. And I was like, fuck. And I don't know what kind of power came over me, but like I did this like big giant step launch into the pool and like basically landed at the exact point that he came off the slide, and this kid fucking double foot kicked me in the face. I go down, like all I see is like just I see like all of a sudden just the sun. My eyes are just like, man, I can't see shit. I fucking drop under the pool.
How old are you?
I'm like 16, 17.
Okay. He drop kicked your ass.
Double drop kick in the face. I'm now in the water. I inhale all the water. Like I didn't have enough time to plug my nose, obviously, because I just got fucking donked. And then I just feel these arms pick me up, and the dad just like pulls me out of the water and puts me on the side of the pool. No fallout happened. No one got in trouble.
Yeah, but it's more like just the dad was just disappointed in you.
But yeah, I was, the shame I felt was horrible. I just sat there. I like took my sombrero off. I'm like, I just flew
I don't
too
deserve
close
the
to
sombrero.
I'm not as cocky as I'm making myself out to be. But the kid kept swimming. Like he got in fine. Didn't even need me.
Oh, so the kid could swim.
The kid could totally swim.
That was the biggest plot twist. Yeah.
So anyway, but this place was nuts, man. Like. Kids would cut themselves on we'd have to go up and like put putty in the joiners of the slide every morning, and like the go-karts, like the helmets were too big for the kids, so they'd always be going off the road, and I would have to like go in the woods and drive them out.
So here's what you said. I want to take that and I want to raise stakes more.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm thinking. Have you seen Triangle of Sadness?
Yes, I have.
What if it's like kind of what you're saying, where it's either lifeguards or like an amusement park, or this big like clubhouse, like maybe it could be golf club. Let's make it an amusement park, but it's like a world where this amusement park is only for the wealthy. Like there's Disney World and Disneyland, and this place is even more special. It's like fucking people come there because they're like billionaires or millionaires or whatever. And against the first pitch, maybe we don't go this aggressive, but I find that we already like it's a bit more interesting characters. And then the mockumentary is of the staff that works there at the most expensive resort in the world, or the most expensive amusement park.
Yeah,
what does that sound like?
That sounds like it could be really fun, because you could really, like Triangle of Sadness, play with class.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like it literally, yeah, it's like cringy moments as well. You can add like there's that. Have you've seen it? You said sorry, right? You said yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You know that scene where it's when she's like she tells one of the workers to get into the water.
Yeah,
like it's a very big moment to show the class and kind of show like how
she's like, I'm not allowed to get in the water.
And then they're like, the whole staff now has to go swimming because the fucking guests want to see this.
Yeah.
And it becomes like this rat race of like, well, we gotta fucking literally dance for our money or dance for our like wages or whatever, right? So
in an effort for this woman to like be inclusive, she's in turn humiliating every single person.
She thinks she's being so nice. She's like hammered. She's like, you should do this. Or sorry, I'm a bit loud there.
No, it's okay. I turned it down.
So that's what I'm thinking. It's like you do a mockumentary about that. It could be amusement park, but because even like what I like about mockumentaries is the exaggeration of the world. Like The Office doesn't do it, sure, but Spinal Tap or even what's the one you said, Best in Show, already sounds hilarious because it's like such a small, it's like a talk show, but I'm sure, I haven't seen it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like they put a lot of stakes in this world, and that's what the drama and the comedy comes in, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, we got to raise the stakes. Have you seen High School Musical 2?
No.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna make it, but it's like they work at a.
Can you explain the plot in full, excruciating detail?
But it's like the kids for summer they get a job at this big like, is it a fucking? Wow, I can't remember exactly what it. I don't think it's a golf resort because they also have like baseball games.
Wait. Then why is it called High School? I mean,
because High School Musical 1 was in high school, and then that same high school class in their summer vacation all get jobs at this really high-end, highfalutin place. And then they have to work there, and like, you know, and then it's like a tiny bit of class there where like there's one rich student who actually goes there for a vacation, and then she sees them there, and then she's like kind of whatever. So it's like, you know, I'm thinking like that's the world where we could do 16-year-old Jono character, you know, or we could do older people where it's like literally the manager at this place. He's like 40 years old, and he's very precious about his job. A little party downish vibes, you know?
Yeah.
What's the name again?
Ken Marino?
Ken Marino vibes. And he's very like, takes it very seriously. And it's always like only a summer job. It's like 3 months they work here, and that's it. So they all meet every summer for 3 months at this resort or wherever. A bit of a hot American summer-y too.
Yeah. And maybe it's like they pay their whole year. They're all like, they could be all kinds of different folks, and like they make so much money in those 3 months that they can just sort of live a life of luxury for the rest of the year. That's very interesting, yeah. So
from tips they make so much money.
Like tips and just like the hourly wage is still really good.
Oh, that's really good. And then we could have a Ryan Temp character or
Ryan Temp character
in the sense of like, sorry, I was gonna think of other characters like him, but you know how there's like those characters that are proxies for audience. So it's like someone it's their first, his dad used to work here and his dad's retired or whatever, or his brother is retired or whatever,
right?
So he's like a new worker here, and they're showing him the ropes. I'm just saying that's
potential
like fish out of water, or potential like
I think that makes sense because like otherwise yeah. Well, I guess exposition is pretty easy, but it's an easier path into it. Like why is the crew here?
Yeah, that's a good
point. Thing.
Yeah, I guess exposition is kind of easy. Oh, but okay, but how about that? So what if we mix in the other idea I was saying where like this is not a mockumentary usually, and this summer a film crew is here.
Yeah.
You could maybe play with that. Like a film crew is like, oh, we find this resort very interesting. And the whole thing ends with the filmmaker of this thing getting killed because the rich people are like, you've seen all our ways and how fucked up we are.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, for sure. I like that because I do like the idea of like kids treating like the kids get to go into a really fancy restaurant and just treat waiters like shit and like do like weird wine tasting and stuff. But I have another idea.
Okay.
That could be really interesting to explore. What about like, I know we kind of said, well, maybe film's a place we should stay away from because you talk about it a bunch, but what if it's a mockumentary about a documentary film crew on a reality show? So it's like a crew following the crew, you know? It's pretty complicated.
So like it's like Survivor, for example, or some shit.
It's like, yeah, it's interviewing and filming the camera crew that's behind Survivor or behind
The Bachelor
or whatever, and like their inner politics. Kind of like there's a show called Unreal that was really good. It's like it's a drama show, not a mockumentary, but like it's a show about the behind the scenes nature of those shows and how brutal the producers are on the characters, on the real people. And
that's
like,
pretty fucking cool. I want to watch that.
It's fucking dark, man, but great show. But I thought that could be a funny. It would be a funny thing, but it might get convoluted.
No, I think it's great. I just want to raise the stakes a little bit more. Like, you know what it is? Like, you know the idea you said about that other film where it's like documenting a fucking killer? Like, my worry with this is like, what are they filming? It's just like, oh man, I gotta film this girl as she talks about her life, or this guy who talks about his life.
This is boring.
Yeah, like what's their stakes, right?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, you want high stakes?
Like,
what about a cannabis infused steak restaurant?
I admit, what was the joke I made last week?
Literally high stakes.
Wasn't it with you?
Did I do that last week?
We talked about but then I said, I was like, I did. I was like, here's a rap line for anyone listening.
Oh yeah.
Give my cow some weed. Call that high stakes.
Okay.
I can't remember what I said last week. Yeah, we've talked about this, Jono.
So that was a callback. That's a callback.
Jono, we've done mockumentary already too. Jono, this has all been done.
Oh.
This is This is therapy for you.
Should we do a mockumentary about making our podcast? Is that what what this is? Is this a mockumentary?
This is what it is, man. Look at the camera right there.
Fuck.
Yeah, there's something there. No, I like the
amusement, the rich people amusement park thing.
No, but I also I like this. Like, man, as soon as you bring up film, or the film world, I'm always like, I'm putty. I'm like, okay, let's do that. Like, it does excite me because I'm like, what can we do about that? Like, the mockumentary about the documentary crew. Like, there's something there. What's the stakes? Cause what are they filming, and why is it so important that we have to do a mockumentary on them? I like just thinking about that. Like, what is that?
Like, I don't want to fucking go down the Titanic submarine thing, but maybe it's this. Like, maybe it's
I got something.
Something like that, like just something going to space, or like.
Interesting. Like what if it's like found footage / mockumentary, and it's about the moon landing?
Yeah, like
it's Neil Armstrong's our main character.
Well, it could 100% be a found footage thing. Like, they found this footage, and someone
was working on a mockumentary,
a documentary, and then they found those people and talked about what it was about, and then like all these secrets come out.
That's pretty fucking
it's like you
cool.
You go back in time and.
Now, just for the sake of, because you've seen it and I haven't, is this, are we ripping off Operation Avalanche?
Operation Avalanche.
That's what's his name?
Matt Johnson.
Yeah.
He's got a style that harkens mockumentary.
No, but is that what it is? That movie's not about this, right?
It's about faking the moon landing.
Okay. So ours is like a mockumentary about that topic a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And first of all, there's also what's his name? Rupert Grint? What's the guy's name who played Ron Weasley?
I think that's his name.
Sounds like a made-up name, but is it his name? Yeah, Rupert Grint.
Rupert Grint sounds like a Harry Potter character.
Yeah, it does. He played he was in a film about it. Let me find the name real quick because it's a cool idea that they did. It's called Moonwalkers, and it's about I think like they're trying to get to Kubrick to do the moon landing. It's about the moon landing, and it's like they're trying to hire Kubrick, and he like pretends to be Kubrick, or he just takes it on because he needs the money or something. It's like, it's about that. My whole point is it's been done. It's not like, like every idea's been done.
We don't need to do the moon landing though. Like, what if it's just like the first sort of like orbital.
Well, I was making the case for we should do the moon landing because no one's done a mockumentary about it.
Yeah,
because it is like pretty funny. We got so much fun with it, and like I like what you said. It's pretty smart. Like, it's like they find this. And they're like, wait, you were going to make a documentary about the faking. Or maybe it's not the faking. Maybe our film is, it did happen. And it's a mockumentary about other shit they found there, like aliens or something. Mm-hmm. And they started a civilization there. And they filmed this over there. And whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. That could be something.
Can I throw another one at you?
Of course.
To make it muddier, because we're pretty lost right now.
Slop it up.
Really? Slop it up, baby. A heist. A mockumentary about a heist. Is that interesting? Like, imagine not Ocean's 11, but kind of Ocean's 11 because they're funny too. So it's mockumentary's pretty easy to put into there. But it's like the mockumentary's about a guy. He's like starts off like it's like the Daniel Ocean of it all, and he's like, I'm trying to do a thing, and he's talking to the camera about this filmmaker who wants to document this.
Seems like Rick Pond or something.
Danny Ocean, Rick Pond. I mean, Rick Pond. He's a B grade Danny Ocean.
Yeah.
And he's like talking to the camera, and the filmmaker is like his brother or whatever, and he's like, I want to document this, and so he's talking. He's like, I'm gonna make this heist, and then the rest of the mockumentary is like him, like doing interviews with these other potential like crack safe person. Is that the term? Safe cracker?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know.
Lock picker,
sure. The hacker and this, and then like the fucking gymnast. For some reason, you always need a guy who can do flips.
That would be heist stakes.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I did say high stakes. Maybe I was trying to say heist stakes.
I think maybe. That could be cool because that you kind of dive into that man bites dog world where it is a little more serious and like the stakes are high because the filmmakers it could be really exciting at first because they're planning and it's like it's all speculative and in the future, and then when the time comes to actually do it, like the moral sort of bumper starts to happen and you're like, oh my god, like I'm actually like they just walk into a bank and like shoot someone in the face right away.
Yeah.
This is fucking way too real.
100%. I was gonna go with that. I like that. Oh, sorry, too loud again. I get too excited when you see these ideas, man.
That's good.
I was gonna go that route, but I like that you went more like he sees the high. I was gonna say, what if the heist people go in and they just get fucked right away? Like it's like that the Ocean's 11 crew just starts getting shot at, and they're like one of them gets shot right away and dies on the spot, and they're like shooting back at them, and the filmmaker's like, what the fuck? And he's still filming it though.
And he's still filming it, and the guy's got a wound. He's like, yeah, sometimes this happens. You walk into a heist.
Yeah, he's still talking to the camera,
and then a
shot
in the gut.
Yeah, and even at one point, and then he can go, and then there's like only two guys left, and one of them is like, call the fucking ambulance. And he's like, I can't interfere with the subject. Like the filmmaker's like,
this is verite. This is cinema verite. I cannot influence it at all.
I can't call the cops because you're hurt. And the guy's like, are you fucking kidding me? It's just, and for some reason, I do like the idea that the filmmaker is like the younger spoiled brother of the main guy, like Rick Pond or Daniel Ocean, you know, and. And he's just like, that's why they're putting up with it. And at near the end, they're like, you're an asshole. Like, you're just like all against him.
Yeah.
And then we could have fun with it where either the filmmaker who's following the heist dies, or cut to a round. I think it goes Finn. And then there's like a round of applause and he's at a film festival for his film.
Yeah.
And he actually wins an award.
That would be funny. I like that. Right, I like the heist idea because it's real world. The moon thing or like just a space flight found footage thing could be really cool. I like those better than the amusement park.
I like the amusement park a lot when it started, but these other two are very like fucking intense, and I do like that. Like they're very like big lies or big problems to have.
Yeah, I just hope I didn't tell that story twice for no reason, but I just will never tell it again.
Episode 50, I'm going to make you say it again.
I've got more stories from that place. Yeah, I don't know. Grounded or outer space?
Wait, which one's Grounded?
Grounded would be... Grounded heist is more realistic than a space flight.
Okay.
It's more feasible for...
I'm going to go off like the energy. We did get really... We started throwing so many ideas out when we talked about the heist right now.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Moonlight were like, that's good, that's cool, what if we do this? But the heist we were like just throwing shit, which means like a lot of fodder.
I think, there's a lot of fodder and there's room for everyone to be affected either positively or negatively, because like the filmmaker getting like thrown into the throes of a heist, the heist guys, their plan failing, and the people who are in... Is it a bank or is it a Is it a grocery store? Like
it's just humans, real civil.
There's a lot of consequence there, and like then you could you start with just the camera crew and the heist people, but then you can start like, hey, do you want to say anything for the camera? And they're like, I'm being held hostage right now, and it's like, oh, you're being held hostage. How does it feel to have a gun to your head? And it's like, it feels bad.
That's
like,
really good.
There's a lot of,
and then we could figure out if we want to be. I don't know what the word is, goofy maybe, but because this is really stupid, but if it makes me laugh. If it's just like the heist is going on and then he's like cutting to like the people shooting, and then he goes to, like you said, one of the hostages like his hands up. And he's like, how do you feel? Whatever. And then he goes back, and then it cuts to a talking head of the hostage with a gun on his head. Yeah. But he's like, in the office and Jim's sitting in the conference room talking. Yeah. So it's a very like calm tripod setup. And he's talking to the camera, and there's a gun at his head.
Yeah,
but he's like, yeah. So it's kind of a bummer. It's kind of a bummer to be here, but that's very like goofy.
Yeah. I think we could do a Parks and Rec style, Modern Family style heist. Like if those characters were gonna do a heist, there'd be a lot of banter and a lot of like kooky things happening. Yeah.
No, I do like that. Yeah. Okay.
It would be more fun to write than something a little more serious.
So I say we start. I'm already sorry. In my head, I'm like, we're doing the heist. What do you think?
Heist. It is.
High stakes. So that could be the name he comes up with. He thinks it's so clever. I do like that. It's funny. High stakes.
Yeah, and no one likes it. Yeah.
But so now I'm trying to think if we were to actually make this right. To be kind of go back on my own point. I think you can make this funny, but also so good, like so like raw, and like you see the heist happen. That maybe, I'm just saying this right now before we get into the beats. maybe we don't cut to talking. Like I just pushed the idea, and I'm gonna say we maybe shouldn't do it, but maybe we shouldn't go goofy during the heist. The goofy is him being like, the comedy is him just still. It's like, say the characters. What's the filmmaker's name?
Robert Pond. Robbie Pond.
Yeah, Robert Pond, but they call him Robbie.
Yeah,
because he's like a young brother.
Yeah.
So Robbie, he's filming it too. Like that's the thing, right? That's how I picture it. Or do you picture like he has a film crew with him at the heist? Yeah. I see him like he's a one-man band, and he has like a mic on the camera, and he has a nice like red dragon, or no, not red dragon. What's the small Komodo or something?
Yeah, or like
a black magic.
You should have a DSLR. Like you should have just like one of those fucking 5D rigs
with a shoulder rig and everything,
and like the little monitor and like
it's
okay. Just this stuff's always going wrong. He's always trying to put lavs on people. He's like, it's really good for sound. I'm like, we don't have. What are you doing? We can't put a lav on him right now. A lav, for those who are listening that don't know, it's a little microphone that sticks to your shirt lapel and is hidden from view, so you can get clear audio.
I like the idea of him just even at one point throwing in, okay, we'll do ADR later. Like,
we'll find, we'll ADR it. Yeah. And this Robbie guy could be so detached from reality that he thinks he can manipulate stuff like that. You know, like he thinks it's fine to.
Well, he's blinded by his passion. Like I do like adding that, right? So it's sincere, right? That's where our sincerity comes in. He's not doing it as a gag, or he's not doing it to be cool. He's like a film. He's an authentic film. And even like we could show like, so his brother. We're sticking to the Pond brothers now, and it's Rick Pond who's producing his documentary, maybe too, right? Yeah. And maybe that's Rick what the heist. Robbie. Weirdly, the heist is kind of, he's like, I'm gonna take some of the money and put it towards your doc. Yeah. But Rick Pond is very like, we could do two ways. Rick Pond can be embarrassed of his brother, but also I like the idea of him being like, he actually he won a Sundance, or he won like some even lower film festival, maybe not Sundance.
Yeah,
maybe.
He went to a Sundance lab or something.
Yeah, you know they're calling him like whatever, or like his last documentary.
He was a quarterfinalist in the Nichols Scholarship. Yeah.
What's that?
It's like a writing scholarship.
Yeah, so you know what I mean?
It has fucking nothing to do with documentary.
So it could literally be him kind of proud of his brother. You know what I mean? That's why he's like, which shows like the weird world of like, how's he allowing this to happen? Because his brother has like this passion, you know?
Or it could be like just an ego thing. Like I want to look cool. Like I do crime to get money and like live this esteemed fucking get women, get men, whatever.
So make me a star in your documentary. Yeah. I think you could mesh that. And also you could also, because I do like this like brotherness of it. That's why he's allowing it. But you're right. He's like, get the right angle. Like he's very like superficial, the brother.
Yeah.
And he's very like doing it for his thing. And his like the heist people, maybe one of them is okay with it because he likes films a lot. Like, you know, whatever. Maybe a bunch of them aren't okay with it. I do like that. So I'm just worried that we're going too fast because I'm seeing it all. And I think you're seeing it too. So just to reiterate.
I want to come up with some more like bits and stuff.
Oh, fuck yeah.
We're still doing good for time. We got to an idea early.
No, I mean fast as in like I feel like I'm always worried that I've said stuff that makes sense, but really people are listening to just bits of my brain.
Oh,
and
I'm
seeing the film clearly.
I understand.
So just to reiterate,
let's slow it down.
The film is about a documentary filmmaker whose brother is a con man. What do you call them?
A heistman?
Yeah, let's call him a heistman.
A heistman.
Yeah. A heistman. And he's like, he's done heists before or no?
Yes. I think he should have done some successful some heisting in the past because...
Wait, should he? Because then why is he so fucked on this heist? Is it funnier if it's his first heist and he's like documented?
It could be. Or it could be called My First Heist. Yeah. Like, you know?
That's so stupid and funny. It's like Bottle Rocket.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a heist movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts as a heist movie and then becomes something else.
That could be cool. I don't know, because what would be the motivation? I guess the brother's just got a camera and likes to do stuff, and the brother wants to do a heist. But then I think we got to think of the core of why Richard Pond wants to do the heist in general. Like,
so scratch that. You're right. It felt much more natural that he is Danny Ocean.
Yeah.
And he's done a couple heists, and maybe this is like a big one for them. And because he's still recruiting a team. So yeah, so far the filmmaker's brother is a heistman. And the film starts with like basically like that talking head that's in every mockumentary, which is someone talking to the camera. That's what a talking head is.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a heistman.
Yeah, maybe that's the first line, and then he goes, and then he'll just put that over other footage, right?
Yeah,
He's telling him how to, and then Robbie's like, dude, don't edit my film for me. Like they're having a brother argument where he's like, don't tell me how I'm gonna edit this film. All right, I'm just saying, if I say that line, it's weird if I say it to the camera.
Like, or like it's like a slow push in, and it's the guy like talking straight down the barrel, like as far back as I can remember. I always wanted to be a heistman, and then the focus buzzes, and the guy's like, hold on, back to ones, and he's like.
Yeah.
The camera slides back. And
yeah. He does it again. Yeah. And then, but I do like that. Then he goes, and then he gets up proper take, and then he's like, "Dude, aren't you gonna put this voiceover over something?" Because I like that the brothers like they have this even during the heist. Maybe when he's getting shot at, he's like giving him ideas for the shots, and Robbie's still like, "Don't tell me what to do."
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I know how to edit this film.
Yeah.
Okay, like they're having weird brotherly fights about how to shoot the film.
Yep.
You know what this is? It's like if the Safdie brothers were like, let's make a heist movie, and I'm gonna go rob a fucking bank.
Yeah. Only they probably would do it.
Yeah,
they
but that's
would
what I
do it
mean.
for real.
Oh, dude. Okay. Man, I feel so bad for people listening because I keep throwing curveballs. Random curveball. What if it is kind of like the Safdie brothers and they're filmmakers and they're like, we're gonna go do a heist to make this documentary. So literally, you know how you were like, what's their?
Oh yeah. That's good.
You know how you're like, why is this? If it is his first heist, why would he even do it? It's like Richard and Robbie Pond. They're the Pond director brothers. They've done They've done a film already.
Yeah.
And even as they go to talk to other heist people, like the team members, they're like, why are you guys doing this? And it's because they're like, well, we're trying to make this fucking film.
Yeah.
And we want to make a heist film, but we watched a bunch of them and they just don't feel real.
Yeah.
They don't feel real. We want to make a real one.
That's the good way.
So they literally go do a heist and they make it. And then again, during the heist, they're like, we're way in over our heads. Like, this was not a good idea, kind of thing. And they get people killed because of it, like their own team members and shit, too.
Yep. And it could start off on, like, a red carpet kind of thing. And it's like, so what's next for the Pond brothers after your big Sundance showing or whatever? And it's like, we want to make like, just basically what you just said.
Yeah.
Like, we could establish them at a festival and kind of big.
Well, that's where, I mean, I'm just saying, though, as a mockumentary, that's exposition dump we could do in Talking Head.
Oh, yeah, but, like...
Because then you start... Because I like your other opening where it's, like...
Right.
The focus, but I just find that such a funny beginning to a film.
It's true.
Where it's like going into the guy's face and then the focus is fucked and he's like...
But you'd probably want to cut to, like, in a proper doc, you would cut to footage.
Oh,
even if it's
then you cut to the footage,
could be like an announcer voice, like, the Pond brothers won gold at the fucking blah, blah, blah festival. And then they wanted to turn that gold into more gold.
Wait, time out. No, but then that's someone making a documentary about this documentary. I'm saying all the footage should be just their footage. So it's like them. Then it can be showing the footage, and as long as it's Robbie's voice, or if it's like Robbie showing video on a, he's literally playing clips on YouTube of their red carpet as the camera's over his shoulder, and he's like, yeah. So and then in the red carpet, you know what I mean? It's more like about because I'm thinking the whole documentary is whatever they film. It's not someone making a documentary about them making.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, the wheels are turning. I'm excited. Okay.
So then what are they going to rob? I was thinking like VLTs. Like, you know how you go into the back of a bar and there's like a bunch of really shitty... Like, do you want to make this like big and they're going to go big and do a bank, or they're going to do a casino, or are they going to be kind of petty thugs and do like VLTs or rob a bodega or, you know?
Explain what's a VLT. I don't know what VLT is.
Oh, a video lottery terminal. Like, it's just like a nickel machine that's like, you know, you go to the back of the bar and there's just kind of people who dump their paychecks into that. There's a lot of those back out east.
My brain goes to a bank only because it's like, would they think simpler? Because they're like, that's what we've seen in the movie. So they go to a bank, or what do you like? That, yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know what they're robbing. Like, where would they go? Because then the other fun thing with the VLT thing is like, I hope we have enough time to make this into the script, but it's like they go to that back room and there's a fucking poker game going on with gangsters, and they're like, oh shit. And then that's why they get shot at, because they fucking were so not good at the recon work and figuring out what they're robbing that they get fucked over.
Yeah.
So that's like a kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The idea you said about the hostage, it was funny. So I'm like, that's why I think a bank.
A bank makes sense. That would be the most fodder.
And go simpler too, because then it gives us more. We know more shit about it.
Yeah,
we've seen more films ourselves.
I've been in more banks
than back of bars.
The back of the bar VLT zone.
Two filmmaker brothers want to pull off a heist for the sake of making a very, what's the word they used? Like a very
a true to life feeling film.
True to life. Sincere heist film. No bullshit. So then it starts with the, and then again, so it's like I'm going to use Safdie Brothers as our, so Safdie Brothers, if anyone doesn't know, they made Good Time. They made
Uncut Gems.
Daddy Longlegs. They made a lot of good films. Benny Safdie is the one who's actually in Oppenheimer. He's like what's the guy's name in Oppenheimer? He's like the guy who wants to make the hydrogen bomb, the H bomb in Oppenheimer. Have you seen Oppenheimer?
No.
Okay, sorry. But he's in Oppenheimer. The reason I bring them up is because like I'm thinking one of them usually is in their films as well. So like the Benny character is our Rick Pond, you said, I think, right? So one of them is like, yeah, I'll be the star of it, and then the other brother, and they're both directing, and that's why they're butting heads, being like, do this or whatever. He's like, dude, I know what I'm doing. So they're both filmmakers. So they're both like yelling at each other.
They're jockeying for status.
And then Rick is the actor as well in a way. Like he's like, I'm gonna be in it, and they're so he's like, I'll be the subject of the film. And then Robbie's the one behind the camera. And maybe there are definitely talking head moments of Robbie being like talking about the making. Maybe not. Maybe we see him on camera because he's like behind the camera, and then he films himself being like, we're going into this bank now. And I think Rick is going to, like, he's literally already maybe even foreshadowing before they get into the bank. Like, I think Rick's over his head. And it's, oh, fuck. Okay, they're opening the door. Okay, like, that.
Should there be? I just feel like there should be a sound person like that's just kind of in the mix somehow.
I'm just worried there's so many Heist team members to fill in.
I don't think they should have like a. I don't think it should be that fleshed out.
Should it be?
They're just like, okay, I'm gonna be on camera.
There should be maybe one more or two more. And the thing is, I like the idea of not like because it's pretty dark, but they get them killed too because they're so unprepared. So it's like literally someone gets shot because of these brothers who are just not prepared and just over there. So maybe they get one guy or another guy, and they're not, like you said, fleshed out like hackers or whatever. They're just like, yeah, I robbed stuff or whatever, and they just hire them off Kijiji or something.
Yeah, have you stolen something? Yeah.
They put up an ad.
I answered an ad.
Are you comfortable on camera?
Yeah. Or they have like an inside person who works at the bank. But like that person misunderstands the ask. They're like, I thought you were coming like after work to film, not during work. And
like he thinks they're just using the bank.
Like, yeah, you can use the bank as a location, no problem. Yeah,
their cousin or something, or their uncle or some shit. That's pretty funny.
That could be fun.
Okay, I'm gonna lay it out like roughly, and you tell me what needs work.
Okay.
Opening, he's talking to the camera, and we start very ominous, maybe even music and shit, and it's like, ever since I was a kid.
Yeah, we'll make that line better. We won't keep it really Yoda thing. Yeah, but like that sentiment. Yeah.
And then as that's happening, there's like a push in, like you said, like the film starts very epic, and then there's like the focus goes out.
The focus gets fucked up, or the camera shakes, or
or he gives him a note. He ruins it by giving him a note, maybe even.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the camera thing would be better because like the guy could hold the gravitas of his posture and eye contact and shit, and then the camera fucks up and it's just like woof and like resets and it's like sorry, and it's like, what the fuck,
Robbie, what the fuck, man?
And then like he breaks it, and then you get to see who he actually is, and then you get to see who he wants to be.
Beautiful. Yeah. And then again, I think right then you kind of get the relationship, because then he gives him a note like, man, we're going to lay this over whatever, or you should when you're editing it, he's like, I know what I'm doing. Like they're both kind of right away off the bat, they're brothers who bicker at each other when they're making the film.
Yeah.
So you have a note there. Then it could cut to a talking head maybe of Robbie, and
it could just cut to them like a case in the joint, like it's just in a car, right? And I'm not sure who Robbie's the filmmaker, Richard is the subject, but they're a filmmaking team. So Richard is like at the wheel of the car, like looking out the window with binoculars.
This
or
is
whatever.
the same scene?
No, it's
or different scene.
Like
okay.
you do that intro scene, and then you hard cut
to
the stakeout, and then they're talking about, okay, so as you can see, like there's a lot of people in there right now. It's probably not a good time to go in or whatever. Like we can find funny things, like case in the joint. But I think like with every piece of the plan that they unfurl for us, like that should also tell us something about their character. You know, there should always be like everything is just filled with.
Well, here's a question.
Like we should be seeding all the flaws that are gonna make them ultimately be unsuccessful.
Are we doing a mock? So here's a question: when they're casing the joint, where they're seeing a bank and he's outside and they're like, yeah, so we want to make this, like, are they basically talking to the camera in documentary form during their film? So they're like, we're making a documentary, and the documentary is like how to rob a bank, and they're like, that's gonna be fucking viral and so good and we gotta actually do it, blah blah blah. Or are they like making a scripted film and then doing behind the scenes footage talking of it? I know what I
feel like in the way that, like, I don't know how tight the scripts are for the Safdie brothers, right? Like, because I feel like there's a lot of realism and there's a lot of like,
but it's never like breaking
life.
Fourth walls.
It's never break. I think we got to break the fourth wall for sure. We got to have like.
So their film, like what I'm saying is, we're breaking the fourth wall for sure when they're like, oh, we won a festival and now we want to make a film about a bank robbery, blah blah. That's breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Now, as he's staking out, are they like, we're making is their film so fucking meta? Is their film that they're making, these brothers, the Pond brothers, are they like, we're making a documentary so that then they're like telling us everything in film form, as opposed to like, I wonder if this bank, and then he goes, oh, is that good? Like, does he do that, or does he just talk to the camera instead of acting? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I do think that we'd be like veering away from the prompt if we didn't have those talking heads. But
the talking heads are about, so he does a line, he goes, I gotta rob this bank to save my dying wife, like some bullshit fucking backstory, and then cuts to talking head. Yeah, I didn't like the dialogue we chose for that scene, but Robbie insisted we need a backstory. So you know what I mean? Now it's like we have bullshit scripted scenes that they're making. Cuts to that, or
I like that. But then within the, like, basically we're watching the raw footage, so we see a bit of the performance, and then we see the bickering. But it could also end at like, it ends on a, like one of those TV carts that you had wheeled out back in the day in school, and then you see the video kind of finishing up or whatever, that last scene, and then it punches out and they're in a courtroom and they're like, so we just watched this 45-minute, documentary of you completely admitting to the process.
As the judge is saying that, he goes into the mic, goes, "It's a first draft, still a first cut. We're still editing it.
There's still some color to be done, just so everyone knows." And it's like, but you both think you're innocent, and they're like, "Yeah," like there could be some funny like rug pull at the end.
Okay, I mean, I think we're figuring it out. I'm very excited. I like this idea a lot. And I'm just again pitching shit because I do think you could go both ways. I do think also that these fucking crafty storytellers are like, we're making a documentary about this. So they're very...
Yeah, it just seems like it would be too like there needs to be them, or like that main guy trying to take himself seriously a bunch, like when they're filming it, like not always looking at the camera and winking and explaining stuff, like trying to do these scenes for real and then be like, you flubbed that line.
Yeah. I'm just I'll be honest, my concern I'm thinking is the length of it, because to do both, like where he's taking himself seriously, then we cut to talking head, and then we got to show the team. Not team. I don't think it should be a team, but I do think people need to die. So unless Rich, one of the fucking brothers, dies, I do think a team member dying is funny, or the sound recordist, I guess, dying is funny. Not funny, sorry, but like it adds to the fact that they're so over their head.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking all this to shove it in. Are we trying to make two films in this film, or do we just say that?
Do we just say that I got a text?
I had nowhere to go, so I was kind of saving me the text a little bit. What do we say? I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I think we might have to find that aspect of it, but like they want to make a film, like a narrative film, but with a documentary feel, so it feels real.
Right.
But then they're like, well, like we can't just go into a bank and not rob it and it still feel real, so we have to rob it, and we have to go in character.
Yeah.
And the camera has to be hidden or whatever.
Can I just make it simpler?
Okay.
Can we basically start the scene to film a line from Rich, a serious line, but there's people sitting next to him, like there's 2-3 guys, and it's like a line being like, we're gonna go in, we might not come out alive. He goes, sorry man, fucking the boom wasn't the shot or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, well, and he fucking goes back into it. We're gonna go in, but we're all gonna go in, but we all might not come back alive. Okay, that was good. We might need to ADR. It's still a problem. So first, he's like, we might still need to ADR it, but whatever. That was good. Let's move on. And then literally, the camera's still rolling, and he's like talking to him. He's like, okay, so the next scene, and they're explaining to the other actors / people, and they're like, so the next scene, we're gonna meet up in a couple hours outside the bank, and we're gonna go in and shoot it, blah blah. And again, reminder, this is real.
Yeah.
And they're all like, yeah. And like the misfit characters need to be all kind of funny, where they're all like just doing it for fame or whatever. They don't understand what the fuck they're getting into either. Just to really add to it all. And then cut to a talking head, and Robbie's like, yeah, so after the success of our last film, right here, you cut to like newspaper cutouts or whatever as he's talking or whatever, right? He's like, Robbie's like, Robbie and Rich are both sitting in front of the camera doing a talking head, being like, yeah, after our last thing, we felt like this was it. A very meta, like they know that they're being meta. They're like the meta heist film where we make the film and that's part of the film. And what makes that easier for us too is that these kids are so far up their ass that they're not thinking that this is separate. They're like, this is part of the film, by the way, what we're saying to you right now.
Yeah.
There's like, this is a very Abed kind of thing to do, I guess. But
yeah.
They're like the making, we've seen Apocalypse Now and we've seen Heart of Darkness. We've seen films that are great and then their documentaries are great. But we've never seen a film which has its documentary woven within itself.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as an audience, you're like, I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like, that's confusing, but we could just make it confusing.
Yeah,
make it purposefully convoluted.
Because you're still seeing the film as it plays out.
Yeah.
So it works, but it's just so stupid what they're doing.
But what that kind of spurred was, like, what if it is this, like, oneer, and we're just watching the unedited clip from their heist movie, like, there could be a talking head thing, but it could also just be very verite, where the camera's kind of finding moments and people are spiking the lens and saying shit to it. But like, it starts with the first couple of takes, like blown line, good line. All right, we're going to do it now. I'm just going to keep rolling to keep the audio synced or whatever. But remember, guys, this is real. We're going to do it. And then they just go in and then the scene just plays out in like a oneer, you know? But it's just like unedited footage of what, and then we kind of see what their plan was. But yeah, you would have to cut that out.
No, yeah, I don't think you need to do that. I think what you're saying is for the sake of, if it was like, if we were worried that why would they cut to the talking head? Why would they edit this even? Like, I think maybe that's where your head's going. It's like, why would you cut to a talking head? But that's the thing. That's where you're a mockumentary. You're taking it.
So then, yeah.
You're taking it on the chin, where it's like you cut to a talking head, which it's like like, dude, The Office does it all the time. Where I'm like, they just did a scene and they did a talking head, but technically the punchline doesn't work because there's enough time has gone in between the talking head. So that's where we got to throw it out, because a mockumentary doesn't care about that shit.
True. Yeah, I do like that idea of that sort of Dog Day Afternoon beginning, though, where it's just like they just walk into the bank right away.
Yeah, it's real, and we're gonna meet in a couple hours, and then they do their talking head there, and then maybe they're even just for the sake of it, if we want to put the scene in, then you show them editing what they just shot too, and they're talking to the camera still, and they're whatever, and it's like they're putting it together, and it's like, yeah, that's the take, and then it cut to like one of the brothers. How about this? They do the opening scene. So I'm just throwing beats out there. Opening scene, he does a deep dramatic line, like, we're all gonna go in there, blah blah blah. Oh, we gotta do it again. Out of focus. Does it again. So right away you get the energy. Cut to, now it's more of a BTS shot of him being like, we're gonna go in, guys. We're gonna meet in a couple hours. And these other con men / actors are like, yeah, okay. Yeah, remember, bring your masks. And remember, guys, most important thing,
have fun.
Yeah, but that's good. One of them that have fun, he goes, okay, yes, but this is real. And he's like, yeah, but have fun. And he's like, it's like one of those. Then cuts to,
and they're like, I got your back, I got your back, I got your back, I got your back.
That's really good. And no, you know how you have fun with that too? Is one of them is like, yeah, I still haven't gotten my lines. There are no lines. We're improvising everything. Like, that's like, they make a comment about that.
Okay, and it's like, I just need some. And it's like, okay, stick them up, get on the ground, give me your fucking money. Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Yeah, it's really good. And even the way you prompt that is like, they're all actors like, yeah, one of the actors like, oh, I didn't get any lines. He's like, okay, I thought it was going to happen. So remember, we're improvising, but I've emailed all of you a docket of lines or a docket of like
just a riff. It's a note. It's a shared note. It's called riffs. It's called heist riffs.
Yeah. And then one of the actors just give them more lines. So one of them's like, like you said, like, put them up. Get on the ground.
But I don't think my guy would say I think he would say them. Put them up.
Okay, yeah, go with that. They love that. They're like, yeah, that's great.
Oh yeah.
Go with that. Go with that. Like, they're really like amping him up. And then cuts to hard cut. maybe Robbie is editing in the back, like literally in the same talking head, while Rich is talking to the camera. So Robbie's editing, and Rich is like, so after our last hit movie, blah, 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 he's explaining to the camera. And then Rich, at one point, Robbie goes, okay, yo, there's like, we're going to have to shoot that shot again. We'll do it after the heist.
Well, there could also be like a guy editing in the little like escape van or whatever, and then someone comes in to dump a card. They're like, oh, I need a new card. Dump the footage quick. And he's like, oh, I'm trying. Like,
that's pretty good.
We could also throw away the concept of time and,
yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. I don't know. The more I think of like The Office or mockumentaries, I'm like, they don't really ever make sense sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? Like how the camera is even there or why it's there.
I might be throwing some like Wet Hot American Summer ass shit in there too. Like what? Just bending reality in some weird ways.
No, I like that, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we like this opening.
Yeah. So then that's the opening. I think it's just we're gonna do opening. We're going to do some interviews.
One talking head, maybe, during the editing scene.
And then we're going to get into the meat of the robbery.
And I think the meat of the robbery, I do like what we were saying, where it's like Robbie's like fixing it and looking at himself. He's like, we're going to go in now. Like, it's very like that. Like, he has a camera. And he's okay, we're open the door. And he points it at them as they walk in. Everybody get to the ground. Gunshot in the air. Security comes out. And right away, one guy gets shot. Yeah. Right away. And Robbie's like one of their guys. One of their like
the sound guy's done. And he's like taking the thing off.
Oh, fuck. And he's like, you know how you have to like reload a mag? He's like taking the boom mic off and like reloading it onto his camera or whatever. Yeah. And then they're still filming though. And some of the actor guys are like, fuck this. And one guy runs out.
And we'll use security cam. Like we can cut to a security cam if we need to see him do something with the camera.
Yeah, good call. To see Robbie on camera because he's behind the camera technically.
But then, so that, and I think like we can just not think too much.
We
right
can
now.
add some shit there.
We'll riff into that. But then ending, like, do we end in a courtroom and
or a film festival?
Or a film festival, which would be funny. It could be a film festival, so they're lauded and then they're immediately cuffed. Like there should be some.
Well, you know how what you do?
Consequence.
Actually, that's a great idea. Film festival. So you see ending and you think again. If you're watching this film, the film's done. And then
it's like the Folsom City Prison Film Festival.
Well, that's really good. I was gonna say that's really funny actually. Can you zoom out and it's like clapping? You don't see them yet, and then you turn the camera on and it's like prisoners just watching it.
Yeah. And they're all just like
Because I was gonna say, what if it's like fucking Sundance, right? And it's like you pull out and it's like everyone's clapping, getting up, and they're clapping, and they're like and then you think they're just happy, but then you kind of zoom out and they have like ankle like cuffs on and things, so they're basically here on just to watch the screening. Yeah. And then their parole guys like, okay, look back in the van or whatever to take them back to prison. But I do like prison film festival. Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah.
It's like the correctional facility like awards.
Yeah.
And as soon as they win, people are like, oh, they don't win. The film ends, they're clapping and stuff, and they're clapping, and then someone just comes and shivs them real quick. Shank, and runs off.
Okay.
I think there's something there.
I think we can bang something out with that.
We don't need to reiterate. I think we reiterated.
I think we did it a couple times for our own sake, and therefore, hopefully, those listening still will interpolate what we're going to do.
And just one more thing about emailing us. This is a great part for us to get feedback on, because I feel like we have to really fucking reiterate the shit out of it. Yeah. So I want to know, this is a great episode example too. Do you need us to then now do a section where we go beat by beat?
Yeah.
Do we kind of do it or not?
Or do you like this conversational off the cuff aspect of it? Yeah.
I'm excited to write this one.
Okay, me too.
All right. Shall we get it?
Shall we write a script about a heist and make it really good?
That's a lot of pressure. Let's do it.
And now, behind the heist. A cinematic shot of Rick Pond, male, 26. He's in the middle of a huddle with three grizzled old gangsters who listen intently. The camera pushes in slowly on Rick. Remember, boys, tonight we go all in. But that doesn't mean all of us will make it out. The camera is bumped, and the beautifully lit image is thrown out of focus. We hear Robbie Pond, male, 24, Rick's younger brother, speaking off camera.
Shit, hold on for a second.
Rick and the others break character. What the fuck?
We just need to do another one for the camera.
The camera resets and pushes in slowly.
Okay, ready, and...
Rick snaps back into character. Remember, boys, tonight we go all in. But that doesn't mean all of us will make it out alive. We've chosen a life of high risk, high reward, and tonight we play for keeps. Robbie steps out from behind the camera to join the men on screen. He claps loudly, and the actors turn to him.
Cut! We got it!
Rick gestures to the set. I don't know, Robbie. This all feels a little forced. I say we overlay my voice onto that scene of us storming the bank.
I need editorial options, Rick. This ain't my first rodeo.
Rick tries to retort, but Robbie cuts him off.
Anyways, great scene, guys. We're going to take a bit of a break now and meet back in front of the bank location in 3 hours. Get some lunch and send me your receipts.
The other actors clearly have burning questions, but Robbie bulldozes them.
Don't think too much. It's going to be great. Remember to have fun, and most of all, it's real.
One of the men, Tommy, thumbs through some emails on his phone.
I still haven't gotten my lines. Tommy, real life doesn't have a script.
You need to climb into your character's skin and just say what he would say. Improvise.
Okay, sure. I was watching Raising Arizona yesterday.
The other actors all nod and murmur. So good. So good.
Cage is a god, but he says, put him up. Like that.
Robbie sighs.
Sure, a little Hollywood, but works. Yeah. Again, we're the Pawn brothers, not the Coen brothers. Okay, we're making something raw, something real. Okay, the guns you have in your hands do not have fake bullets, so they're empty.
Robbie and Rick share a look. Cut 2. Interior getaway van later. We see through the lens of a documentary camera on a tripod. Rick speaks directly to camera while Robbie fiddles with his laptop in the background, editing the previous scene. After the totally precedented success of our last film, we were scratching our heads on what to tackle next, and one night we were watching Ocean's 11, and it felt more like a wet dream, so we decided to make a heist movie that fucks. Robbie looks up from his edit.
Dude, your mouth noises are out of control. Okay, we're gonna have to ADR the whole opening scene.
Whatever, we'll do it after the heist. Robbie looks at his watch.
Oh shit, yeah, okay, let's go.
Robbie reaches for the camera and stops recording. Cut 2, exterior bank later. The POV of a shaky documentary camera. We hear Robbie's heavy breathing as his feet jog nervously over the pavement. He poises the frame and focuses on Rick, Tommy, and the other 2 actors. They reach for the doors of a bank.
Wait!
They stop as Robbie's camera finds the focus.
Okay, ready? And...
Blam! Rick kicks open the bank doors and the whole crew rushes inside. Interior bank seconds later. We see the scene play out through Robbie's camera. He deftly follows the action. We never see him, but we hear his voice off camera. Bang! Rick fires his gun into the air, and he delivers his line exactly like Tommy. Put him up! Tommy lets out a sigh.
That was mine.
Bang! A gunshot hits Tommy between the eyes. Blood splatters everywhere.
Jesus Christ!
Robbie takes cover and keeps filming. A security guard pops up from behind the teller, gun still smoking, and lets out another shot. It barely misses Rick. Improvise! Improvise! The other 2 actors pull out their guns and immediately get shot. One falls down right next to Robbie. Robbie zooms in on the face of the dying actor, and he looks right in the lens. Please, help.
I'm sorry, I can't interfere. It's cinema verite.
The camera zooms out, and we see Rick taking cover next to his brother. Okay, shit, what do we do? A beat. The camera zooms in on an old lady, 60s, cowering in fear. Cut 2, interior storage room, moments later. A light turns on, and we see the camera focus on Rick and their elderly hostage. She pleads for her life. Please, no, I have grandchildren.
That's a little on the nose.
Yeah, can you maybe just tell us what's going through your head right now? The old lady screams. Ah! Robbie lights up.
Now we're cooking.
Can we just get a few more sound bites from you? Please let me go.
You kind of clipped the audio there.
See, you don't have to scream to be loud. She faints. Rick turns to Robbie. Well, there's your teaser.
Print hit. What's next?
Rick puts on his actor's voice. Way I see it, we go out guns blazing, or... Actually, I need a coin for this. You got a coin? Rick pats down his pockets. Robbie hands him a coin. Rick waits for Robbie to adjust the frame, then takes his line again. Way I see it, we go out guns blazing, or we buy ourselves a one-way ticket to Folsom Prison. Rick flips the coin and covers it with his free hand. Before he can reveal it, the storage room door bursts open. The camera pans to reveal a SWAT team, guns drawn. Then, back to Rick, who looks into the lens. We hear Robbie's voice from behind the shaking camera.
Cut.
Cut 2, interior, dark room, sometime later. Rick and Robbie sit side by side in an interview-style setup. The camera zooms out slowly as they speak. I think it's one of the most ambitious films anyone has ever done.
When we set out to make it, we wanted to revolutionize filmmaking. Did we succeed? Yes. Yes, we did.
I mean, sure, we lost a couple good actors along the way, but I'm sure Tommy and the fellas are resting easy, knowing they died for a film that truly fucks.
Amen.
Amen. The camera continues to zoom out through a set of bars and reveals the brothers' prison cell. Outside the cell, a documentary crew are filming them. The director speaks.
Cut. That was great. Can you talk more about the impact on the people you traumatized?
Robbie interrupts.
Why do so many takes? You're suffocating the discourse here. Excuse me?
You gotta let the scene breathe, man. I feel like we had it on the first take. The director furrows his brow.
You boys got somewhere to be? I thought not. Let's reset. Yeah, ready? And
Rick and Robbie chime in. Action! Cut to title card. Behind the heist.
Finn!
In conclusion, this week's episode is brought to you by Evian. Evian, it's the water you saw first when you opened the fridge at the gas station.
That's pretty good.
Like, I feel like that's what they should be.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Heist movie. Behind the heist.
What? Oh, I thought we were going to continue doing one word at a time.
Nope, letting you hang.
Jono, what did you like about it?
Well, Adeel, I liked playing with the format of the mockumentary. I liked that we could kind of be exposition-y in a lot of ways. There was kind of some shortcuts to get to some meat of the stuff, and definitely fun ways to kind of bring out character through like how the camera's doing stuff and like what we're finding and like zooming in on the hostage before going into that other scene. Like there's just little details that we could do that are, you know, a little more hammy on the nose, but totally envelop the genre, you know?
You feel like we played with the format well?
I think we played it as well as we could given the time we did it in. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like it's kind of a surface level answer, but I do feel it was original. Like I don't think I've seen a mockumentary on a heist at all. Like even the moon landing one, I was kind of like, oh, I kind of see that. And if we did the amusement park idea, I would have been like, oh, it's kind of like Parks and Rec, I guess, in a way. But this felt very like, I think it's actually a very original idea, and I don't think it's been done ever.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But yeah, totally. I'm glad
I enjoyed that about it a lot.
Yeah, and like it does kind of conjure more sort of visceral scenes and stakes and like characters that are having real repercussions. Like people are dying, people are being traumatized or whatever, and these dudes are just like totally Safdie brothers doing it. Like I just imagine that's how they work. They're like, oh, let's shoot this guy in the leg for real.
Yeah.
You know, because like their style of film is so intense and real, and like I feel like we could in going back to that man bites dog thing where you're taking a very serious subject and kind of like taking the piss out of it, but it still feels kind of like, oh my god, like if we were going to shoot this, that scene where Tommy gets shot in the face should be pretty like
fucking
jarring and like not like, oh wow, Tommy's dead. It's like, oh my god, this is real. And then these two fucking dickheads are just bulldozing and continuing to film and being like, not like, oh, we should stop now. It's like, what next?
Yeah.
How do we make
They're
this
still
better?
trying to make the movie, You know what's crazy is it's so crazy, not crazy at all. But something I just thought of right now is usually mockumentaries are very much controlled by the subject, right? Like Michael Scott or even in Spinal Tap. Yeah, Rob Reiner's character's there, but it's about the band. I don't think I've seen it where the antagonist and protagonist are the filmmakers themselves.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that kind of mockumentary, because even the one where you said they're following the serial killer in that one mockumentary, Man Bites Dog, it still sounds like the actual guy on camera, the killer, is what's kind of leading the story. He's the subject. Where this is very like, it's kind of a very cool exaggerated take on, like directors who how there's like people talk about Kubrick or the Coen brother, not really Coen brothers, but Kubrick or the Safdie brothers or whoever, where they're like, man, they do a bunch of takes, or they do one take, or they have this style
99 takes, like Fincher.
Fincher, or like there are some directors like Clint Eastwood, one take and that's it. So it's like taking that like pop culture joke on like how some directors are so like specific and anal or whatever, and making a mockumentary that's like, it's about a heist, but really it's about these two directors.
It's about their dynamic,
and it's about them taking their like art too seriously almost, you know?
And being a bit tone deaf about it, because they keep talking about artifice, but then they're always trying to give each other notes and adjust the scene and whatnot.
They're like, we don't want to make it phony, but then they're still like figuring it out as what the film would be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I think that's very original. I'd love to kind of poke at this one. And that leads me to the one thing.
What do you mean by poke at this one?
Like I want to take a stick and just go to town on it.
Oh, yeah. Because when I think of poke at it, it means like pull it apart and like.
No, that's exactly. I was making a dumb joke.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. No, for sure. I would love to like.
That was really funny.
Oh, thanks, man.
I think you did a good joke.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I would love to take this into a fifth draft, like second, third, fourth.
Yeah, because there's a lot more. Like I do feel like I kept trying to get more talking heads in there, and you're like, fuck it, because they're like looking at the camera, which I totally agree with. But like I think there's way more fodder. There's way more camera or character stuff to build out and sell all the stuff that's happening. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of like the idea of this mockumentary not being talking head heavy, because it's like that's part of it, you know, because they're directors, so mostly it's like them just filming shit and then talking to the camera while doing it. Like I don't see a lot of mockumentaries like that. Like you do see
there's like
there's
a style to it.
Yeah. But no, I totally agree. Where like to me, this is the first one in a few episodes. Like for last few episodes, I've been very happy with. You know what? It was 7 pages or 6 pages or 8 pages or whatever, but I feel like we really flushed it out, or it's a good first draft. This one, it's like I think there's so much in here. Like I feel like there's gold in here, and we've only like dug like 2 feet in.
Yeah,
but the gold is like 10 feet below.
We just know that it's we've fucking sifted the water of the lake, and you're like, okay,
there's gold.
There's gold here for sure,
but we never brought the machines in, or the tanks in, and all that to.
Or the human labor to exploit.
Yeah. A writer's room to help us out.
Yeah. I do, to your point, like at this juncture, at this first draft stage of it, if we did put more talking heads in, it would just be like, here's what the story's about, here's how I feel. So like it wouldn't really have done anything to this right now. But
100%.
But if you keep kind of blowing it out,
because that's the thing, it's not even the talking heads. I think we just need more scenes. Like I would love, like you had a great, when we were in the writing, like off camera stage of like writing it,
no one will see that.
you had a point of like, it'd be so funny if like, even when Tommy goes like, yeah, so I can get my lines, and we just do a cut to his audition tape for this part.
I'm Tommy Sinclair, these are my hands,
put
them up. I'm gonna do it 3 ways. Put them up,
and then cuts back, and then while you're watching that footage, because it's a mockumentary, it's like it says underneath like Tommy's audition tape or whatever, or like a watermark. But it's like there's so much fucking fun to have in this format of like a heist film that's a mockumentary. Cutaway stuff, scenes of like them like practicing for it or whatever, you know, like so many more jokes we could have put in, but this was almost 8 pages full. And I think it got the first draft across. I just think that this is the first time in a while, because usually I'm pretty happy with it. I'm like, fuck, man, this one I really want to write more. Okay. Where did it come together?
When we decided it was going to be like a Safdie. I think when you brought up the Safdie brothers, I was like, oh, I can see what kind of heist movie they would make. So I think that's really where it like landed for me, and kind of put it into perspective for me, so where I could see these two like very serious like guys trying to make something real.
Taking it too seriously. No, I feel you. And then for me, it was like when we were talking, we had 3 potential ideas. We had the moon landing mockumentary, we had the amusement park, and then we had this. This was the one where we were just like, there's a lot of writers who say this, where it's like the stuff that kind of comes out easily, like when you're writing like ideas, it's like you should follow that, follow that, chase that. Because a part of us was like, yeah, the moon landing's cool, this is cool. But then when we brought up the heist movie, we were just adding on ideas. Like I would say something and you're like, oh, and then that'd be funny if the hostages are talking to the camera, and then we're like, this might be funny, and then that's good. And at that point, I'm like, oh, this is like just fun. This idea is just full of fun, and we should just chase that, chase the fun.
Yeah, totally.
So that's
totally.
Okay. I mean, before we go into casting, do you want to mention the honorable mentions for this movie title?
I forget them all. Heist to Meet You. Heist Stakes felt too hard to say. Heist Stakes. Just didn't roll off the tongue.
Heist Wide Shut.
Heist Wide Shut.
We had a lot of puns, but
the place behind the heist.
The place beyond the heist.
The heist behind the pines. Or
That's what it was. The place beyond the ponds.
We were basically like, I just kept saying shit, and Adeel would be like, "No, that's just a pun," and then he would say a pun. And
then we're like, this is great, but this doesn't go with the film. We had too much fun just coming up with movie titles we never used. I think on the poster we're gonna find a way to sneak them in.
For sure. From the makers of
Beyond the Pond.
Behind. I can't even.
A place.
I'm
beyond
losing my
the
ability to
pond.
speak today. Casting is hard. I definitely see Tommy as Kevin from The Office. Brian Baumgartner.
That's funny.
Or even like his kid, like there's a British, the guy in the British office too.
Yeah,
he's kind of like Kevin, but he has the mustache and he's just like that.
I wasn't going there, but in that sense, I think of Meatloaf a little bit.
Meatloaf?
Yeah.
Like the singer?
The guy in Fight Club? Isn't that his name, Meatloaf?
Is Meatloaf in Fight Club?
Yeah. Am I tripping? Yeah. He's Bob. His name was Bob. The guy gets shot.
Oh. Okay.
I picture him just because I wasn't thinking that at all first.
Okay, yeah.
Who would you... Yeah, the brothers? I don't know. I mean, I would love for the Safdie brothers actually to do it.
Yeah, like that's the easy one.
Yeah.
Or like I think we mentioned these guys last week, but like older, McLovin and Jonah Hill kind of characters. You know, like older doofuses.
What's the dude's name in...
Or like Miles Teller and that dude with the glasses from Hot Tub Time Machine.
I like Miles Teller and Michael Cera's friend in real life, something Duncan, I think his name is. What's that guy's name in Hereditary? You know, have you seen Hereditary?
Yeah, the main guy? I don't know his name.
I know his name. Come on. Let me find it. Sorry.
Is his name Harry Hereditary?
Oh, shit, it is.
I knew it.
Not even a little bit. Alex Wolff.
Oh,
and his brother's an actor too. I'm not like the biggest fans of them. Like I don't watch a lot of shit, but I think he fits like that director, like kind of neurotic. And then his brother's name is Nat Wolff. I'd like to cast real brothers for this.
Yeah. Okay.
So the Wolf brothers.
But I got a casting call for real brothers because it has to be real. It can't be artificial.
No, fuck that. We're not doing that shit.
We're doing real movies that fuck.
If this was made in the 90s, the Wilson brothers. Owen and Luke.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Yeah. I do like, it would be fun to put that Bottle Rocket skin on it and have like just kind of doofuses who
think they're better than they are.
Yeah.
That's what these brothers are. They're like, we're fucking geniuses, but they're like putting lives at stake. And again, to them, that's fine because it's like, for art, dude.
Yeah.
So the Wilson brothers, if it was in the 90s, or the Wolf brothers.
Cool.
I like that.
Oh.
Did we do all of it?
Wow. Yeah, we did.
Oh, wow.
We did it all. Okay. Another one down. Lucky 13.
Lucky 13.
Send us an email. Tell us you're paying attention.
Yeah.
We appreciate you if you listened. If you didn't, then you don't know that I'm saying this, so.
That was so deep, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Justin,
do your best radio sign off.
Justin, can you do a slow zoom on me while I do a radio sign off? Thank you for joining us on the Blue Sky Podcast, episode 13, Behind the Heist.
That's a very serious NPR radio sign off.
Good night.
And Godspeed.
God has bead.
That's good.
The Blue Sky Podcast is produced by Adeel Shamsi and Jono Hunter, edited by Justin Stevenson, and this voiceover was recorded by Kevin Brown. If you have an idea for a prompt, email us at theblueskypodcast@gmail.com or DM us at the Blue Sky Podcast on Instagram. The Blue Sky Podcast is an independent show, so please like and subscribe and tell your friends. Please.